She asked for directions, but it wasn't the city she was trying to find. My name is Alexa. I'm 28, and Florence looks different at night. The tourists fade, the streets breathe again, and the air smells like rain and wine. I'd been walking for hours, sketchbook under my arm, trying to capture the glow of the street lamps on the wet stones. When I stopped near a small cafe, I saw her, standing under an old archway, looking at her phone, frowning at the map like it had betrayed her. Short blonde hair, soft curls around her face, a tan trench coat, and the kind of elegance that didn't try too hard. She looked up, caught my gaze, and smiled. "Sorry. Do you speak English?" "Enough to get lost with you," I said before I could stop myself. She laughed, quietly, but real. "Perfect. Then maybe you can help me find Via della Vigna Vecchia?" "You're already close," I said, pointing down the narrow street. "Just 2 turns away." "Then let me buy you a coffee as a thank you," she said, and I didn't even think before nodding. Inside, the cafe was warm and golden, half empty except for an older couple near the counter. The smell of roasted beans and sweet pastries wrapped around us. She took off her coat, revealing a dark blue blouse and delicate jewelry that caught the light. "I'm Maria," she said. "I run a gallery not far from here." "You?" "Alexa. I draw things people usually walk past." "That sounds romantic," she said. "Mostly it's just messy." She smiled, stirring her espresso slowly. "Messy is good. Florence was built on beautiful mistakes." We talked for over an hour, about art, about travel, about how this city feels alive even when it's quiet. She had a way of looking at me that made the room fade, as if her eyes had their own light. When she finally stood, she said softly, "The gallery's open tomorrow. If you're free, come see it. It's small, but the light's perfect at noon." And then she left. Just like that, with a nod and a smile that stayed longer than the sound of her footsteps. The cafe felt suddenly bigger, emptier, but the glow outside still carried her warmth. Maybe Florence wasn't just a city of light. Maybe it was a city of timing. Florence looked softer the next day, sunlight sliding through clouds, painting the narrow streets in pale gold. I followed her directions, sketchbook still in my bag, trying not to look like someone who had been thinking about a stranger all morning. The gallery was small, tucked between a bakery and a bookstore. The bell over the door chimed as I entered. "Alexa," she said before I even saw her. Maria stood near the far wall, adjusting a frame. The light from the skylight fell across her face, catching the faint lines of tired joy near her eyes. "You came." "I said I would." "People say many things in Florence," she said. "Only some mean them." The walls were lined with soft landscapes, fields, rivers, quiet moments of color. But one painting stopped me. It showed the Ponte Vecchio at dusk, the same bridge I'd been sketching last night. "You painted this?" I asked. She nodded. "Years ago, when I still thought I was looking for something." "And did you find it?" She looked at me then. Slow, deliberate. "Not yet, but sometimes the search feels enough." We walked together through the gallery, our reflections flickering side by side in the glass. She told me about restoring old frames, about how paintings age like people, slowly, quietly, beautifully. At one point, I caught her watching me. Not the way people stare, but like she was memorizing. "You look at things like you're afraid they'll disappear," she said softly. "Maybe I am." "Then don't blink," she whispered. For a while, we stood in silence, sunlight stretching long across the wooden floor. There was no rush, only the hum of the street outside, the faint echo of footsteps, and the warmth between us that didn't need words. When it was time to go, She walked me to the door. "Will you draw this place?" she asked. "I already did," I said, tapping my sketchbook. She smiled. "Then I'll hang it here, to remember that some strangers don't stay strangers." The afternoon light poured through the doorway, turning everything gold again. I looked back once before stepping out. She was still there, standing in the glow, watching. And maybe that's what Florence does best. It lets two lives brush against each other, just long enough to leave a mark that never fades.